Hello, Tar Heels. Welcome to the UNC Esports Twitch stream. My name is Mac Dewey. Joining me in the studio tonight for some exciting League of Legends action is none other than the one and only Ryan McDad. Ryan, how are you feeling tonight headed into this week's match?
I'm feeling great. We've got League of Legends on a Tuesday. I've only been casting on weekends for now, so getting a little something special to spice up my week. I'm excited to see how our JV's team's doing in this second week.
Yeah, week number 1, they faced off against the Penn State blue team and unfortunately fell in 2-0 fashion. Not ideal, but let me tell you, Ryan, the transition and really the difference between game 1 and 2 was just astronomical. The team seemed to have a better understanding of kind of where their comfort zone was in that second game. Alsomo in the top lane on Camille was wreaking absolute havoc. So I'm really excited to see what the JV squad and Coach Rami has cooked up for this week's matchup against Penn College. What picks are you maybe looking at seeing pop up in this week's draft, Ryan?
Well, I'm always looking for those power picks in the mid lane.
Yep.
We were talking about that a lot on Saturday, but Victor, Corky, it's either got to be there or it's got to be gone in most of these drafts.
Right.
Something that I always like to see is drip irrigation on his Hecarim.
Yep.
He plays that a lot in solo queue. I see him on it. I watch him play when he streams his games to us, and I always like to see the horse go fast.
Right, of course. Yeah.
And then in the bot lane, we see lots of Tristana from For Me to You.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely a very powerful pick, and just something that I'm hoping to see because I always want to see it. I want to see Bard. Bard just makes me happy when you hear those nice little chime noises and you just see him run around the map at Mach 10 speed.
Yeah.
So that's what I can hope for. We'll see what pans out.
Well, I think we did see a Bard support last week, or was that on the Varsity squad?
I don't think we saw it on Varsity.
It might have been the JV game last week. It was a little tempered fate action to disable kind of the Rift Herald's effect on a turret by giving it kind of invulnerability with the Bard ultimate. Some really solid play. I'm really excited to see what tonight's games are going to look like as UNC JV. They're looking to bounce back this week, and going into this matchup against Penn College, just looking at the kind of roster comparison, Ryan, I think this is kind of the perfect week for them to kind of find their groove and figure out kind of what their identity is going to be throughout this season.
Yeah, I think the first week was definitely a challenge for them. I think that they got hit with the top pretty early on.
Yeah,
and
right.
I think that if nothing else, this is a confidence week. hopefully,
Yeah.
we can see just what we want to see is we want to see good plays.
Mm-hmm.
Something that we saw in the first week of Varsity when they had not so strong of an opponent was that there were still mistakes happening.
Yeah.
And what I would like to see is I'd like to see firm decision making.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to see that when errors are happening, they're not unforced.
Right.
And I'd like to see that just there's a strong understanding of what's happening at each stage of the game,
Right.
even though it should be an accelerated stage of the game for our team.
Yeah, it's really kind of interesting to see exactly when you have these teams who are maybe this week going to go in with an aggressive composition. Well, they may have the advantage in the early game. They're certainly likely going to draft to have a sort of advantage in those early stages of the game just based on champions. But it's going to be about how this team can maybe not let Penn College in after a strong early game.
And we do hear Rami Baba coaching in the back room, so who knows? Maybe we'll see the predecessor to the Rami Baba Pike.
Yeah, let's see. Let's go ahead and take a look at this draft here. The teams using Draft Lull to start us off here. Just because, all the accounts might not have all of the champions. There's probably close to 160 champions probably at
I
this
think we're
point.
at 156.
Oh my goodness, 156. So as we can see them all laid out here, except for the ones we're kind of blocking with our beautiful faces. No worries, not missing too much here as we see Penn College so far, Ryan, have picked up Misfortune, Galio, and Nautilus, likely going to be their bot and mid lane options. And the Senna Corky Brom for the UNC. Ryan, you were talking about this Corky pick. Seems like UNC potentially feeling good about this draft so far as we're making our way through the second phases of the ban phase. Trundle to start us off for UNC.
Yeah, the thing that happens with Corky at this point is that he has different levels of power throughout all stages of the game.
Yeah.
In the early game, he's very weak, but he has a dash to get away. Back in his time when he was released, that wasn't really a thing that was as prevalent. Now there's a lot more dashes in the game, but
Right.
once you get to that 8-minute mark, it's still 8 minutes, not yet 10 with the nerfs that will be coming through. Corky gets the package. It's dragon control, it's Baron control, it's Rift Herald control. It's
same day delivery, right?
Yeah, the package is whatever you need it to be and more, as long as you don't get caught out with it. So the strength of Corky is just so high. The one thing that I'm interested in seeing is how respectful UNC is with this draft. I think that there's a lot of scaling in the draft. This is the exact opposite of what we saw from UNC Varsity's first game. Where, there was not much respect in the draft, and there was just so much aggression. But this game, we have a Senna Braum lane, which is very safe, allowing Senna to sit back. Whether she'll be farming or fasting, we'll see once we get in game.
Right.
But either way, I mean, getting to Braum to be extra tanky would be nice, so maybe he's going to take that opportunity to get the farm, get some extra items. But Jarvan 4, always a good pick. Camille, still extremely strong. So there's a lot of power in multiple stages of the game. It's probably going to come online a little bit later than a composition with a Misfortune, Nautilus, Galio. I think that comp's going to go faster, but it's going to taper off much earlier, especially if that Echo doesn't start getting kills.
Yeah. It does look like it's going to be Echo in the jungle for Penn College, as well as Fiora in the top lane, going into Alsomo's Camille. I feel like this might be the UNC Classic, saving the red 5 pick for the top lane counter matchup. Ryan, what do you think about this Camille versus Fiora? Alsomo last week showed really, really solid Camille gameplay, so I'm looking forward to it. But I'm curious if you think the champions can go either way on this one.
I think that it can go either way. I think that Fiora definitely has presence a little bit sooner, but Camille has opportunities later in the game, especially when Fiora is not getting big. And when she's not piloted by Chinese teams that are hitting all 4 marks in 0.1 second. But what I'm interested to see is how Fiora is able to play around Camille's abilities. Camille has a stun, Camille has her lockdown ultimate, and Fiora is able to parry both of those off.
Yeah.
So if she's able to dispel those, get rid of those, it makes the lane so much easier for Fiora.
Yeah.
And it makes it to a point where Camille might have a little bit of difficulty playing, but there's always the meme. You have a 5-second Cho'Gath queue, so Camille still has her opportunity to bring damage to the table. It just depends on if she's able to do that damage around Fiora's various dashes, her parry, and her own damaging abilities of her own.
Yeah, do you want to point out Penn College did, in fact, take away Drip Irrigation's Hecarim that you were talking about earlier, Ryan. He does get his hands on the playmaking Jarvan the 4th. I gotta think UNC with this J4 pick, do you think he's going to be able to get in on the action early on? And which lane do you think he could be going?
I think that that's interesting. I'm wondering if he might look to maybe try to do something weird, try to do some vertical jungling.
Okay.
Try to maybe handshake the Echo, who isn't as strong in the early game. Echo definitely a more of a niche jungle pick. I've been a believer of it, especially after they buffed him recently.
With the W changes, right?
Yeah,
It's
they made
his.
him do more damage, so he can clear through a little bit faster.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see how this matchup works because Echo Jungle isn't typically something that we're seeing.
Yeah.
Um, I'm interested to see how Jarvan's able to play around him, but what we're definitely expecting is early flag and drags.
Yeah.
We're expecting Jarvan probably to focus on this top lane with Camille. I don't think it's very likely that he'll focus on a Senna lane, although there is a Braum down there. Braum can easily stack up the stuns, and once you get the knock up from Jarvan, it's definitely a possibility that you can take someone out.
Yeah.
I would expect it to go top lane, the Jarvan to focus on the top lane, but I'd be more interested to see how much he's able to deny from Echo. I think that the purpose of this Jarvan pick in this composition is to kind of match with the Camille and match with all the different ways that they have to lock people down.
Yeah.
Once you get everyone onto 6, you have Braum Knockup, Jarvan Cataclysm, you have Camille Hextech Ultimatum. So you have a lot of ways.
Senna Ultimate as well is
And then,
really
you put
easy
Senna
to
on top of
layer
that.
on there. Yeah.
Yeah, so you have a lot of ways to control where the other team's able to go.
Yeah.
And I want to see how Jarvan is able to control his jungle opponent before you get to that level 6 threshold. I want to see if he's able to get an advantage and maybe get into Echo's jungle, get priority in his lane so he can invade, and then start out with just a nice CS difference, nice gold and XP, and just put PCT's early game comp out early.
Yeah. What's really interesting here for me, Brian, that I kind of want to point out here, you have melee mid, melee jungle, melee top. Only Misfortune is ranged on this Penn College composition. So you have Senna, who's going to be scaling like crazy. You have Corki, kind of, I think, controlling the mid wave a little bit, and certainly should be a pretty easy time. Unless Haifa and Yerky on Penn College, the mid jungle duo, I think, unless they can really attack the bod kill early on, try to get him to be a little bit uncomfortable, get him without flash, try to get him to back off a little bit. It's gonna, I think, be kind of difficult here for Penn College to even just play the game from kind of the early stages to, I mean, the late game when you're gonna have to deal with Luxana zoning you away, the potential Braum wall just absorbing everything coming out of the bullet time. I mean, you just have for me to use the Senna E to back off and kind of peel for everyone. Then you got to worry about everyone diving the back line on the top side of the map for UNC. So I think it's going to be a really fun game here. Ryan, before we head into the break, I'm curious, do you have a lane to watch here for game number 1?
Lane to watch here is certainly the top lane. Top lane is going to be the most explosive, the most dynamic. It's the place where the most variance can be.
Yeah.
From me to you and Luxana, they want to sit back and they want to farm and they want to play safely. That's the idea behind the Braum pick. The bod kill, he wants to sit on the Corki and he wants to wait until he gets his 6,
Yeah.
and then he can free farm with his rockets. So the top lane is definitely the one where we're going to have the most variance. It's definitely the one where we're going to see the most, not impact, but the most focus around.
Yeah.
And I'm interested to see what will happen between the Fiora and Camille.
Well, it should be a fun one on the Rift. So, ladies and gentlemen, don't click out of that browser. We will be right back with game number 1 of Penn College versus the UNC Esports Club JV squad here in week 2 of CSL action. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to UNC Junior Varsity versus Penn College in round 2 of CSL. I am Rami. I stole Mark away from you guys, and I am joined here by Ryan. Ryan, how are you doing?
I'm good. We've locked Mark back in the producing dungeon, brought Rami back from the coaching hole, and we see traditional 5 points on both sides. No one really wants to go in here. The only thing that you could see is that Agalio might take W. He might be ready for that, and he just gets a big taunt on your team if you try to invade. So no one's going in. We see from me to you on the bot side, Luxana just blocking that bush, trying to see if anyone comes in. But aside from that, we're not seeing anything surprising. One thing that we do notice, Luxana will have the support item, so this will be farming Senna.
Yep.
The soul change has not come in yet, so
Right.
from me to you will still be getting those 8% soul drop rates, I
Yes.
believe it is. And as we see, drip irrigation will be heading down to the bot side, focusing on top side for pathing. And Yerky as well, starting bot to top. So bot to top for both jungles.
Yep.
Get that fatter bot lane leash. Pretty much everything that we're expecting at this point in the game.
Yeah, and top lane is definitely going to be the lane to watch this game. As we see, Alsomo's running the TP Ignite, so it is Camille still. He has the E to escape a lot of ganks from Echo, but I think it'll still be a very spicy matchup in general in the 1v1. And of course, with both junglers pathing up there, it's going to be very, very exciting to watch, and we should see a lot of action.
Yeah, we might see some action around the crab fight as it happened. We already see some early trading happening from me to you getting that Q poke with the extra slow that Senna now has. We saw the bod kill getting on his Corki action, abusing his range into Galio. Not doing too much of a change because of Galio's ability to just passive shield most of the damage. But we see bod kill getting a nice trade. First strike procs coming in. Looks like it was about 11 extra gold that he got. So some free gold in a scaling lane. Nothing that you're going to complain about.
Yeah, and I'm really interested about Penn College's decision to pick Galio into the Corki because we picked Corki on red 2. So it was a blind pick, and we were expecting that they might pick a more aggressive champion to try and punish Corki in the early stages of the game, but the Galio pick kind of gives them a free lane to scale with, and I'm kind of curious as to why the decision was made to pick Galio here. He might be able to get push in the wave and then move to the side lane easily with his ult at level 6, but until then, I really think the bot kill is just happy farming in this lane.
Yeah, I think the only thing, actually, fight breaking out, we just see some trading. Looks like it's just going to be a knock-up, a quick taunt. Nothing much going to happen, but that is going to be a positive trade for the Galio. Something that I would like to see is I'd like to see Ice move up with that Nautilus and maybe just accept that Senna's going to outfarm and give the opportunity for his other lanes to get ahead.
Yeah, I agree. And as we see, Alsoma has a pretty nice hold on the wave here with drip irrigation resetting at the Krug bush. We'll see if a gank ends up happening, but it seems like Fiora is just going to take the reset. I'm curious if the wave actually ended up crashing because we do see Fiora just TPing back to lane immediately. Alsoma already has about a 10 CS lead accumulated for him. And if this wave is still on his side of the lane, I think that lead is just going to continue to extend.
Yeah, we see with the jungle pathing that Yerky has opted to take his 3 bot camps and then move straight into Crab. And now because he's doing that, drip irrigation, I'm assuming, thought that Crab on the top side would just be gone by the time he finished his full clear. So it's actually going to be a double Crab. It's not going to be as impactful as it would have been a handful of patches ago, but that is going to be a nice lead that Yerky on the Echo will have, although he will be behind in his jungle pathing as his camps respawn.
Yep. And as we see, Alsoma's wave is starting to push out. Fiora is a reset ahead, so there's a longsword advantage for him in this lane. So he has a bit more fighting power. Alsoma's wave will be in a pretty precarious spot, and we'll see if Yerky tries to punish this wave.
Yeah, he also has a health advantage in the top lane, Chicken does. Alsomo is getting poked out a bit, but he is still sitting on 1 health pot and 2 biscuits, so he's not really that much of a threat as he's crashing a massive wave under tower, but looks like he's getting hit by Yerky with the gank. It won't amount to much.
Yep.
We'll just head back to normal early game farming, which is pretty much what UNC wants.
Yeah, and as we see, Drip Irrigation has made his way up to the top lane. I think he's just looking to break this freeze and help Asomo get this wave crash. I doubt they're actually going to go for a kill. We do see him looping around. Are they going to try and go for a dive? Asomo does get the true damage Q off, so it's pretty low, but no, they're just going to take the reset, and Drip Irrigation is going back to farming.
Yeah, there isn't too much that you need to look for in that situation. The back does get stopped. I wonder if it would have gotten off with the invulnerability, but Asomo will be a little bit slower getting back. It looks like he's opting to stay, try to crash another wave.
He does
maybe
have
get some
gold for the
pressure.
Sheen.
Yeah, it looks like he has a lot of gold that he can spend. Luxana jumping in.
The stun goes off onto MF. She's trying to get away. The Ignite goes down, but she has the flash to escape, so Ignite for flash, trade in the bot lane, but honestly, this is not what you want to see for Penn, especially this early in the bot lane. Nautilus and MF should have a lot more fighting power early game than Senna, but it seems like from Mitu opted in for the fleet footwork, and a lot of short trades has just led to her having the health advantage because she has the healing from her Q as well as fleet footwork, just keeping her topped off.
Yeah, speaking of things that you don't want to see, despite getting his back stopped, Asomo is still just straight chilling
Yep.
in the top lane, pushing Fiora under her own tower. Chicken is trying to poke back as he can, but we see the bone plating get popped there. There's the grass, there's the cookies, there's the health potions. Asomo's fine to just stand in the top lane. We see both top laners have hit 6, both mid laners have hit 6, junglers are probably getting close to that threshold in the next handful of camps. So it looks like the real fights should be breaking out soon.
Yep, and I'm expecting a fight to happen around Drake because as we see the hook land, and Galio is here with the ultimate, but Luxana is able to just flash away. There's some return damage from me to you. Galio goes back in with a E. The taunt does not land, and Braum is stuck with no flash. Is the W up? It is not, but he's walking away. He does get hit by the Galio Q. From me to you also drops, but Drip Irrigation is here. Flashing onto MF, gets the kill. I think this will be it. Honestly, oh wow, the Q hits. And I think I should be able to just walk this one out, especially if the dredge line comes off cooldown. Oh, there's a spicy situation up in the top lane. Asomo and Chicken are both taking a reset. If Chicken completes the space, it's going to be pretty bad.
He's stopping it.
I don't think Asomo knows he's still here, but he sees him
Definitely
now.
sees that.
He has very low mana, enough for maybe a Q, maybe a W. He does get the wave under the tower completely. Yes, that does crash, so Asomo's happy. He's finally going to get to that first base on Camille, which is really like a huge spike for Camille. Not a lot of top laners have that first base spike, but once Camille hits that Sheen, has a few points into her Q, the true damage really starts coming through. So I'm expecting this matchup to just get worse for Chicken, as we see Asomo already has a 20 CS lead.
Yeah, 2100 gold leads into a Sheen and a Phage, along with refillable potions, which means that there's going to be an opportunity for him to stay even longer once he gets back into lane. We did see that while that bot fight was happening, Asomo and Chicken did trade ultimates, so that was why they were so low and in that odd standoff, but no kill in the top lane. 2 kills onto Jarvan, 2 kills onto Galio from that bot play. And Jarvan did actually get the 150 shutdown gold.
Yes, he did.
Onto Mr. Galio. So
Yes.
that is going to be another slight lead that he'll have over Echo, as we see that there is already a level lead. Should be enough for Jarvan to carry through most of the game. He's gotten through his weakest point.
Oh, Asomo jumps onto Chicken in the top lane, but doesn't look like it's going to be an all-in. But they're continuing to trade a bit. Ooh. Asomo trying to get the true damage Q off, but Chicken is spacing well, but here's a true damage Q. The W misses, but he does get the Q off. The E lands. Will the Hextech Ultimated come out? Yes, it does, and that's a solo kill for Asomo.
Yeah, Grand Challenge not nearly enough. Something interesting that happened there was that Chicken used his parry before Asomo even pulled open the E. So
Right.
he kind of just parried nothing, looking for a little bit of poke damage maybe, and it opened up the opportunity for Alsomo to fully punish him, take the kill. Looks like he's going to have a much better wave state and force the teleport out as well.
And Chicken is going to be in an awful spot here because he uses TP to get back to lane, but Alsomo is still sitting on his, so if Chicken makes an attempt to crash this wave, Alsomo could TP back, but it seems like he's just going to take the walk back to lane. His thought process could be that he's saving TP for the Drake fight, expecting a 5v5 or a 4v5 to break out. So I understand holding the TP, he's just going to allow Chicken to crash in that wave. As a gank comes out, the bot kill is forced to burn the flash.
Yeah, we haven't seen the bot kill too much until this point in the game. It's Corki without his first item up until this point. Now he has the Mana Moon. It's getting stacked up about halfway on the tier stack. So this is exactly what Corki's wanting. As Galio's moving around the map, Corki's taking the opportunity to freely farm, freely take tower damage, and there's just not much that's happening to Corki.
Yeah, Drip Irrigation is chilling in the pit now. Haifa does go onto the bot kill, hits the taunt, hits the knockup, but the Senna ultimate from Firmidi comes out, keeps the bot kill well above lethal health as he picks up the kill onto Haifa. The parry does land onto Alsomo's E this time, stunning Drip Irrigation, but now Yurka's stuck in a bad spot and he does drop down.
Flag and drag from Drip Irrigation, more than enough to take down Yurki after the ultimate comes through.
Oh, there is a hook landing onto Drip Irrigation, but here's the power of the Braum pick just completely negating that MF ulti from doing any damage to Drip Irrigation.
Yeah, Luxana Unana moving in a way to where he just blocks off the ultimate from his entire team. There's certainly a lot to be said about the player movement right there, but certainly a lot to be said about the coach decision to pick Braum there into Misfortune to just negate that ultimate.
There is a huge wave in the top lane. Alsomo is stacking this. If he can get a Q, yep, just like that. Ooh, he does miss the E, but this is a very, very dangerous amount of health for Chicken to be put on. Alsomo does try to ward up the river, see if he's going to be prevented from diving. Penn does claim the drag. The dredge line does not hit. The package goes off. A really good package zoning off. He jumps in again. This is a risky decision. He has no flash. He manages to pick up a kill on ice, but ends up falling to Azer. As Haifa, is it? Yes, Haifa does end up falling down as well.
Yeah, the bot kill is fully in there. It looks like UNC might be reaching for more
here.
here.
Luxana is walking in. They're looking to pressure off Aza and Yurki off of this red buff, as there is more fighting in the top lane from Alsoma and Chicken. The Q is up. Is the E up, though? It is not. Alsoma is not going to go for that because the parry was down. As you see, Drip Irrigation taking away a couple of the Krugs. I'm interested to see, I wonder how Penn managed to pick up this Drake. I feel like UNC was really ahead on tempo. They had the winning fight in the mid lane. I wonder if it was just bad reset timers, lack in vision, or just decision-making in general that allowed Penn to pick up that Drake, but I am surprised to see that.
It was a winning fight for UNC, but it did slow them down. Alsomo getting another poke in the top lane, but I believe what happened there that actually, is he going in for more?
I like him pulling the wave. He knows that Yurki's in the bot side, who is now getting engaged on by Drip Irrigation. The Chrono Shift is up. He does take it, but the E does not make it over the wall. As there is more heavy trading. Drip Irrigation goes in again. The Cataclysm catches Haifa out of his E as he does fall to the bot kill. And meanwhile, Alsomo did manage to pick up another solo kill in the top lane.
Great plays from UNC all around. The ability to catch Yurki out in the river really set off that chain of events. Alsomo knows that there's no Echo coming top lane to threaten him, so he's able to complete that tower dive onto Chicken. While that's happening, in the bot lane, after Yurki dies, Haifa gets caught out.
Lands onto Famitsu. Luxana Unana does have the E, but it's awkwardly positioned. It doesn't end up blocking that much damage, but the bot kill does TP in. The passive stacks from Braum have been popped. I'm expecting Ice to fall down as well. He has no flash. As long as the dredge line gets blocked here, there should be no way out as he does fall to the bot kill.
This is the power of the bot kill after he's gotten Corki and he's been allowed to farm for as long as he's wanted. We see that he has his boots, he has first item, still stacking towards that Muramana, and it looks like he's sitting on a null magic mantle. I wonder what that might be building into.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Surely it's not Wit's End. Oh,
Maw Malmortius coming out.
Interesting
completed.
second item. Yeah. I can't say I've seen that most of the time from Corkies. As you see, trading in the top lane, there is no stun from the parry, so Asomo can continue walking forward. Chicken does queue back in. But yeah, I'm assuming the bot kill's thought process here is most of the gold is going to be on Haifa and Yerky this game, as there's more fighting in the top lane. Seems to never stop. The Q does land. I wonder if Asomo has E here. If so, ooh, it does go wide, but it does cut off Chicken's escape, so he should still be dead here because Drip Irrigation showed up.
As that's happening, Luxana's taking some damage in the bot lane. Glacial Fissure comes out. The bullet time coming from Azer. Haifa missing his charge, but all the root still catches him.
Ooh, great stopwatch from Luxana Unona. It's buying enough time for the TP to come through from Asomo, who uses the E, hits 2 with it, and now Yerky is in an awful position. He just gets deleted by the Cho'Gath ultimate, as now Haifa is just stuck and dead, and so is Izer.
Hextech Ultimatum expended there just to make sure that there's the extra lockdown, the kill goes through. We should see a tower here, maybe an extra tower. We're going to see the wave pushed in bot lane by the bot kill. Excellent fight for UNC, which started out with a little bit of maybe mispositioning, but a great teleport by the bot kill and a great teleport by Asomo, sorry, and a quick reaction from Drip Irrigation leads this to be a 4-0 swing for UNC.
And this is just an awful position for Penn College to be in. They had to win this game early. Yerky had to find early skirmishes and picks to start snowballing on this Echo, because on the opposite side of the rift, you have a Camille, you have a Corki, and you have a Farming Center. Those are 3 insanely hard scaling champs. Ryan, I was listening in while I was helping JV with draft. Oh, on that note, Asomo does get hit by the stun, but as we can see, this Fiora is just not putting out that much damage. As we do see Yerky walking up, but he's just going to hit the Grump while UNC decides to take the Drake. But as I was saying, I did hear you mention that eventually there would be a Cho'Gath ultimate on a 5-second cooldown for Asomo, and I think we're very, very, very close to that point in the game.
Yeah, it looks like we're basically here. One thing that we will mention is that Formidiu is playing Farming Senna, which means that there will be less souls coming out. Actually, package coming in over top, that's just going to be a pick. I was talking earlier.
Yep. Azer just gets melted, as
Even
now Ice
ice.
is also caught. You know, Izer's getting melted, but so is the Ice.
I was talking earlier about how package truly is just an option for every situation.
Oh yeah, it is.
You can use it to lock down objectives. Chicken looks like he'll fall here. Grand Edge is expended, but under tower, there's not going to be much.
Here comes Cho'Gath ulti. Oh my, Luxana Unona does drop pretty low, but he knows his limits. He's fine.
He knows his limits, uses the Braum shield, heads away as he's going to field that shield right to a Poro. The package usage from the bot kill this game has been exceptional.
Yep.
He's taking it in moments where he needs to get those big team fights. He's taking it in moments where he just needs to get a pick. He's taking it exactly when he needs to. And all these opportunities have just led to massive gold swings for the side of UNC.
Yeah, and UNC is just going to continue to get stronger. We see the Rift Herald being dropped in the top lane by Drip Irrigation. Him and Asomo should be able to easily get this tower. That is a ton of gold into the pockets of the UNC top side, which is already so far ahead. It looks like they're going to go for another charge. I doubt they're going to go for the whole turret, but 4 people from Penn College means that Shelly is going to drop before she gets a charge off.
Yeah, 4 grouped on the bot side. 1 minute before Baron comes up, we see that Luxana is looking to deny some of those blast cones. We're on Infernal Rift, so there are extra blast cones around the map for a little bit extra movement. Some of those walls have fallen around as well, but the blue buff is being denied from me to you, and it's looking just like a very good situation for UNC at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I was telling them in draft phase that honestly, like, mid and top are just hard winning lanes, in my opinion. At least they are early. And bot lane can easily farm, so if they're not behind by 10, 15 minutes, then they're just hard winning, but they're actually ahead as another E comes through from Asomo. The Hextech Ultimatum follows up, as does the Cho'Gath ulti. None of it has been parried, which comes out now, but it's way too little and way too late as Chicken does fall. And now Yerke's in a tough spot. The flash to dodge the Braum ultimate, and he lives to see another day.
Good Glacial Fissure from over the wall from Luxana, forcing that extra flash, getting that longer cooldown. As Baron's coming up, this should be an opportunity for UNC to threaten, if not just outright take it. We see Framidiu is moving over with the Kraken Slayer and the Ginzu's Rage Blade, which should be more than enough damage to bring down that Baron if they opt for it. But as we're seeing here, they're just pushing in some lanes and getting complete domination before they even make a pass at it. We do see the on the way pings, and we see the bod kill leaving the bot lane, moving up should a fight break out.
And not only is UNC ahead, I really like what they're doing with their lead. As we see, the bot kill is staying in the bot lane because he knows he's strong enough to bring down at least 2 members from Penn College to threaten him. So he's more than happy just vibing in the bot lane. He has that unleashed teleport if a fight breaks out topside. He has flash to get away. And there's just basically no pressure on him. So he can just sit there smacking at that inner turret, trying to pick up that gold. And as we saw, it was just a free Baron for UNC.
What I want to see is if UNC can end within the next 3 minutes while they have Baron. I think that there's a chance to do it, especially if there's a package timer coming up soon. I haven't been tracking it exactly, but it should be up within the next minute or so.
I believe so.
So what I'm expecting to see is maybe some pressure down the mid lane, maybe getting an inhib soon, and Corki being able to use that empowered recall to then pick up his package and teleport back into the fight to just completely take over. We do see that the package is in base, so he's probably waiting for exactly that moment. The bod kill is going to be looking with his team and maybe for an opportunity to reset soon. We see that he's got his mythic item finally as a fight breaks out.
Yep, Drip Irrigation does EQ combo in, but he just walks back out, baiting a few cooldowns. I'm curious, could we get a soul check? It might be a bit of a rough spot to do it, but I'm very curious.
59 souls.
59 souls.
So 1 away from a range buff.
Yes, not the worst for farming Senna. Okay, as we see a blast cone over the wall from Luxana Unana into the Glacial Fissure, into the Cataclysm, into the ultimate from Senna. The bullet time, again, gets fully negated by Luxana Unana's Braum Shield. Asomo continues forward with a Hextech Ultimatum, picking up a double kill onto Chicken. And Penn College just looks absolutely rooted as Haifa also falls.
Who needs package when you have Luxana's Glacial Fissure knocking up the team, setting up the Cataclysm perfectly for Drip Irrigation. Echo was forced to ult out of that, but Yerke was quickly felled by UNC's damage. 20k gold lead in this game.
Yep.
And there's just nothing that you can do about that much of a lead.
Yep, and here go the Nexus turrets, and I expect the Nexus to fall very shortly after as we see Yerke diving in, one last chance, Ice also falling on the fountain, and Asomo goes legendary to seal the deal.
Nice little stats to get padded right there at the end. 2 extra deaths onto the side of PCT, but very good from what I wanted to see out of UNC. I was mentioning early, I want to see that they're able to play without making too many mistakes. When you know you're up against a weaker team, it's easy to just give in to temptation and just try to go all out. But UNC's draft was extremely respectful, and they opted to just say, we'll play the scaling characters, and if you have to take us longer, we'll just beat you once we get there. And that's exactly what they did, except for they didn't have to go longer because they won outright, and that was exactly what we wanted to see.
Yeah, great draft from whoever their coach is.
Yeah, whoever it was must have just done
I'm a big fan of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just a catastrophic early game is not what Penn College could afford in that game. They had to make an impact early. They had to snowball a lead. They had to get those early Drakes. Yerke had to find a lead on that Echo, but it just didn't happen. All their early plays fell through and just ended up in UNC accumulating a massive lead. And honestly, props to Asomo as the MVP of that game in my eyes. He managed to find so many solo kills in the top lane. And as we said, leading into this game, that was going to be the lane to watch. That was the only lane in the game that could go either way. It was the most flippy part of the game for UNC, and it was their only condition that would not hard scale into the late game. But Asomo did his job. He won early laning phase through good wave management, good trading patterns, good usage of TP, and he was able to escalate that lead.
The scariest part of this game for UNC was probably when the bot lane got caught out. The Galio came out around 6 as we were expecting. We see a big cross map play, mid coming down, but the bod kill allowed to just free hit on the tower at that
Yep.
point. And the trade kills happening onto the side of drip irrigation just made it so that even though that was the scariest point in the game, there wasn't really any fear.
Right. And with that being said, we're going to head into our break as we prepare for UNC JV versus Penn College Game 2 of CSL Week 2. See you soon. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to UNC Junior Varsity versus Penn College. This is round 2 of the CSL playoffs, and this is game 2 in this series. Ryan, how did you feel about game 1?
I felt great about game 1 because what we saw was what we were expecting, what we were wanting to see. We got to see UNC take their scaling, take their gold, and then leave. And at the end of the day, that was what we were expecting. That was what we wanted. And the amount of mistakes that were forced by the other team were not as many as just what you'd expect to see, just normal rumble and tumble.
Yeah. It was just a pretty easy to execute scaling comp from UNC that Penn College had to find a way to punish in the early game, and they just weren't able to do that. I think we'll be heading into draft relatively soon for game 2, but before we do that, have a shout out for Laughin' Airlines, aka Brady, for being our number 1 sub gifter. I think he's gifted a total of 4 maybe, but regardless, Brady, Laughin' Airlines, thank you for those. We appreciate it. The sugar daddy of the UNC Esports channel.
Yeah, our Twitch sugar daddy sure is. He's giving out subs to everyone who just shows up in chat. So go ahead, keep dropping comments. Maybe you'll be next. Who knows? But
True.
Well, as we get ready for draft, I want to know what you want to see in this next draft, because what we saw from UNC was a very safe draft that was easy to execute, as you said. There was a lot of range, and there was also a fair amount of engage. You have the Hextech Ultimatum, the Cataclysm, and then for range you have Corky's package, you have his rockets, and then you have Senna's auto attacks, which start to grow as the game goes on. So the question is, not all 5 of those champs can be banned out. We will see that the Corky is banned out for the side of PCT, not wanting to deal with that again. But if we're assuming that UNC will opt to choose a longer range composition, what do you expect PCT to do to try to answer that?
I want to see more hard engage. If they're not going to take away all of the long range options, they're going to have to find a way to get in onto UNC's comp, as we see Jarvan being hovered as a first pick. I told the JV squad I'm going to let them draft on their own this game. I told them to surprise me, whip out something special. As we see Jarvan being hovered, I don't expect this to go. Okay, it does go through, so seems like UNC really, really values this Jarvan early in the draft. Maybe they're thinking that PCT isn't properly respecting Jarvan's gank timers, because as we know, Jarvan loves to gank in the early game. He loves to spam gank. That's his game plan, and they were working against PCT, so maybe they think this is just going to be the good pick.
Yeah, Jarvan definitely a power pick right now. We see that Vi is getting locked in to counter him. I'm not sure if that's any traditional counter, but I do imagine that Jarvan, being piloted by Drip Irrigation, I'm assuming, might be flexed somewhere, but we're assuming it goes to jungle. I'm assuming that he'll still be able to jump in, get his Cataclysm off before Vi is able to lock him down. We do see Misfortune is locked in again, so a little bit of synergy there with the Vi. Yeah. We'll see the bullet time coming over, the ultimate.
Braum again from Luxana Unana.
Yeah.
He was worried about playing it in the first game. He said he wasn't very comfortable on the champ, but I told him, listen, all you got to do is save the E and press it when you see bullet time come out. So it worked for him last game. I think he's probably just going to pick it up again this one, as he does lock it in.
Yeah, I think that this is a good chance to get some practice in. So if he's not as comfortable on the Braum, this is his chance to warm it up. And if you see Misfortune come out, it's a great chance to just lock in that shield of the Freljord. We do see Tristana from me to you. Mm-hmm. Power pick that I was mentioning earlier. We've seen it in in-houses. We've seen it and I believe we saw it in the other series, but we are seeing it today, which is exciting. I can't wait to see that pop off in the bot lane.
Yeah. And I think when I popped in to give them a rundown about draft, for me to you was mentioning wanting to play a Lunar New Year skin line comp. So the Tristana pick might be inspired by the new Lunar New Year skin that she just got. So we'll have to see the skin choice, and then I think that'll lead us to the answer as to why the Tristana was picked. As we see, Nautilus is picked up in response to the Braum Tristana lane, and Poppy is banned. I'm very curious about the Poppy ban. I'm not sure who that is supposed to target, as support and jungle have both been locked in. I don't think Asomo is known for his Poppy. So I'm kind of curious as to why that was banned, as we see Galio being banned on the side of UNC.
Yeah, I'm also confused about the Poppy ban, and I wouldn't necessarily say that I like it because I think that the only team that it can favor right now is PCT if they were to lock it in. I think that there's still the opportunity to take that Poppy top to have a little bit of extra front line in front of your Misfortune. It is lower range, so it would kind of go with their theme last game of having a lower range engage composition, but the ability to send the opposing team out once they get the Cataclysm off, or to just jump right in there yourself, hit the E onto Jarvan and pin him, stun him against his wall and turn it against himself. I would have liked to see Poppy picked for PCT, actually.
Yeah, I agree. And the last two bans are going to be Victor from PCT and then Lissandra from UNC. As we see, Orianna is a blind pick of choice, so this is going to leave counterpick up for Chicken in the top lane. The bot kill will have the opportunity to counterpick Orianna. We'll see what he decides to go with. I'd imagine Syndra, Veigar. Okay, yeah. He's hovering the Veigar. We know the bot kill loves to play the Veigar. He had a strong showing with it last week. It is decent into Nautilus and Vi as far as zoning them off, but the issue is once Nautilus drops that ultimate onto you, once Vi presses R on you, there's no escaping it, cage or not. He is going to be able to build Zhonya's, and we see Gragas as the hover from Asomo, and that does get locked in.
Something interesting that I will see here is that Gragas and Jarvan do have the potential to be flexed back and forth.
True.
And there could also be some weird things where Veigar gets moved around, but we're expecting to see the bot kill on his Veigar. It's kind of his patented pick at this point.
Yes.
Braum and Tristana probably expected to go into the bot lane. And we are expecting that Jarvan will be jungle, Gragas top, but there is the possibility that gets flexed around with a bad pick. We do see Riven here.
Another high-octane champion coming out from Chicken. I hope he's able to execute better on it this game than Game 1. I'm not sure how this matchup goes. I feel like Gragas is going to be able to just go towards that Ninja Tabbies, the Secret Arm Guard, or the Bramble Vest and just chill early game. Like, I don't see Riven having that much kill pressure on him, as the Body Slam can cancel a lot of Riven's engage and a lot of her trading power.
Yeah, there's so much attack damage on this side that we might honestly just see Gragas go into the Holy Trinity, get his Bramble Seeker's tabs, and then never die for the rest of the game because he's stacked so much armor with such cheap components. I do like the Orianna pick. I think that it's a nice moderate range pick that we can take into the game and try to change something up. The Galio was banned out, so we weren't going to see that again, but there's a bit extra range. We have Vi to be a bit of a delivery system for the ball.
Right.
There is the Cataclysm, which sometimes sets multiple people into one spot on your own team, so you can just throw in the shield and command Shockwave onto that. So I like the Orianna pick. I am sad, as I said, that we didn't see Poppy. I think that Poppy would have been a good pick, but aside from that, I do think that we see a better draft from PCT, but I'm still expecting that UNC won't be challenged unless PCT is able to get a large early game lead.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, I really do like the Orianna with the Vi, because what I was really hoping to see from PCT this game was just ease of execution in the team fight. As we saw, there was no real opportunity for PCT to find a real team fight. They never felt like they had the chance to go for a good engage. We saw Ice going for a couple of hooks in the early mid game, but those just ended up failing for PCT. So hopefully with this Vi Orianna combo, they can pick a target, they can lock it down, get enough burst damage to one-shot them before they can get away.
I'm wondering what's going to happen with the Veigar pick.
Yes.
That's where my thought is right here, because I don't think it's a bad pick by any means. I think that it does work thematically with the comp and thematically with the last game where there were so many Bard Hubbard coming in. I'm assuming that one's for me.
Probably.
But I do want to know what Veigar can do. UNC last game opted for champions where they can control the positions of the other team and where they can lock them down, especially with that Cataclysm, with the Glacial Fissure, and with the Hextech Ultimatum. Vagar does fit into that theme. He has his cage. He can control where the enemy team goes. So I'm curious if that was the thought process behind the pick, and I'm curious to see if that's going to be where the focus for Penn College's ganks are going to be.
Yeah, and I was about to mention that the main challenge for the bot kill in this game is going to come from surviving early game, surviving those Vi ganks, as well as team fights. If he can make it to that Zhonya's, he'll be able to negate a lot of the engage and burst from PCT, because that's a way to lock him down, is just Nautilus ultimate and or Vi ultimate and or Orianna ultimate, all just locking him down, one-shotting him. But he has a cage in the early game. He has Zhonya's in the late game, so hopefully with those tools by his side, he'll be able to survive.
Should be a safe pick, one that LS's church followers would be very happy with, especially if it's the Predator variant. We will see that our 3-minute integrity timer will be popping up, so with that, we will be heading to a quick break, but please stay locked into that browser. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
everyone. Welcome back to UNC Junior Varsity versus Penn College in the CSL Round 2 of playoffs. Or not playoffs. Sorry. I think it's a round robin still. I got a bit too excited there, seeing into the future. But yeah, we're loading into Game 2 now, as we see, once again, a standard 5-point from both teams.
A little too excited, but you know where our team's going. This UNC Junior Varsity team is something to be excited about. Something else that we have to be excited about as we see a little bit of trading happening around this pixel brush in the top side as the ward comes down. We do have new graphics to be excited about.
Yes, we do.
Our wonderful graphics team have made the banners that you see at the top, and I just wanted to give them their quick shout out.
Yeah, they look great.
Yeah, they work in the background, but what they've done so far for us, everything that you see while we're on break, the advertisements that we have running every once in a while, all thanks to them. So shout out to you if you work on our graphics team as we get ready to hop into this game. And we see that the jungle pathing will be different for this game. Drip Irrigation is opting to go top to bot. Looks like it's going to just be a Scuttle Crab handshake, probably something that's not very atypical. We will see, probably with that ward coming down, he's probably not going to look to invade the other side, but we might see if he'll try to take Yerke's red buff as the pathing comes together. It looks like he's just going to take his Grump. Getting very low. Dangerously low, but still being able to do 2 camps at once.
Yeah, and as we see, Prometeu is rocking the new Lunar New Year skin, so I think the hypothesis was correct. We're going to have to ask if Tristana was the optimal pick here, or if it was just for the skin. We'll have to find out later, but about the jungle pathing, it does make sense for both sides, because on UNC's side, on one... Oh, Chicken is hitting level 2, but it's only a half health chunk, as we see Prometeu jumping onto Ice, who gets stunned up, has the bomb ticking, but is able to just walk away, as Chicken continues to trade onto Asomo, who gets a grasp. He is ignited, the E comes out, and he flashes away. He survives, and now Chicken is down Ignite with his wave in a pretty bad spot from what I saw, but Asomo is going to choose to stay in lane as Prometeu jumps away from the gank, drops the exhaust, and the jungler Yerke just walks away. But Drip Irrigation is in the area now. He's level 3 on the Jarvan, has the EQ available. We know Ice has no flash. The passive stacks get popped onto Isa, who just gets dropped. Ice seems to be the next target as he gets stunned. He has no flash. The bomb blows up, killing him, and there was a solo kill in the top lane. Asomo falling down and dies, as I think we're going to have a replay on that solo kill. Let's hop into that.
I am really happy to see the opportunity. Oh, actually, we're going to start top lane. The solo kill coming through. It looks like Gragas was just too low HP. Yep. We did see that he was forced to burn all of his potions with the first jump in. He is going to buy refillable potions, try to get a little bit of extra health, because he is going to be afraid of this Riven for a little while until he gets some armor stacking out. As we're doing quick shout out to Mac Dewey sitting on production, getting our replays set up so that we had that to get to you so that we could see that top lane play. For the bot lane play, I'm really happy that we got to see what happened. The aggression in the early game, actually trading's coming out.
More trading from Chicken onto Asomo, but he should be able to just walk away from this. Keep in mind, Chicken's wave is pushing into Asomo. We see Yerke going for this top crap. He does get hit by the EQ combo. He's now stuck in a cage. No flash and no way out, as he does die to Drip Irrigation, as another solo kill comes out in the top lane from Chicken. As this top lane is really starting to get out of hand. Chicken hasn't even based yet with the gold from the first solo kill, and now he has 2 under his belt.
What I've been wanting to say is that it's really interesting to see this aggression come out from Penn College. This is what they needed to do in the first game, where the draft was even more harder scaling for the side of UNC. Now there's a little bit less scaling on the side of UNC, still a fair bit.
Chicken is in a rough spot here. He gets hit by the EQ. The body slam comes through as well. He gets a shield. He's trying to make it to the wall, but he dies to a final blow from the flag of Drip Irrigation.
Good plays from UNC to be able to walk up Drip Irrigation, flag and drag, taking the kill, coming through. So punishing the overstay from Chicken, but the extra aggression that we've seen from Penn College is definitely what they needed to bring coming into the second game.
I agree. I'm really glad to see Chicken being aggressive in the top lane. He has Ignite. He's a Riven. It's his job to kill the enemy laner as much as he can. Really get a massive lead for himself. But on the opposite side of the map, we do see a large lead for UNC starting to accrue, as Penn College's bot lane is in a pretty weird situation here. One thing to note is due to the passive on Tristana's explosive charge, she's unable to hold a freeze for a long time without missing out on too much CS. So this wave shouldn't be in that spot for too long as some more trading comes through from Chicken. He does pop the ultimate, he pops the Ignite, and Asomo just gets one shot from full health.
Exile's Blade more than enough extra AD at that quick level 6. It was a quick drop for Asomo. I don't believe he had dinged 6 yet. Looks like there was a kill in the bot lane as that happened from MediU, able to jump in and punish Ice.
It seems like Ice's flash just came up, so I'm imagining he didn't have that in time, as UNC might go for a dive, but Yerky is hovering this. I think UNC has a feeling that someone is here, otherwise Iser would not have the confidence to step up to this wave. As we see Drip Irrigation looping around, he knows that he's spotted on vision. We'll see if he decides to EQ over. He's just going to walk around. He might go for an invade. I would like to see UNC shove in the spot wave and look to do the dragon or a blue side invade.
As you say that, the dragon is going down. The control ward spotted out the vision that UNC had on that jungle, but it did also tell UNC that there was more people hanging around. Drip Irrigation opting to start the dragon instead of look for more with that extra information, and quick play from UNC to start out with a nice dragon lead.
And I think we do have a replay ready for that bot lane kill, but before we get into that, Lexana is getting engaged on, but I think he's going to be able to walk away, and so is Ice. But the EQ comes through onto Haifa, who flashes away but then gets caught in the Cataclysm, and it's a killing spree for Drip Irrigation.
Drip Irrigation's extra damage on his passive coming through. Riven still jumping in aggressively, but UNC side is backing. I wonder if we'll get to see the replay now.
Yes, I think we will be seeing that soon. And yep,
is.
here it comes through. So Ice does hook in, but it lands on the wave instead of a champion. And then he just gets stunned down by the Braum and dies to Lexana Unana and from me to you.
I don't think there was ever an opportunity for that to go well. I think he was really trying to greed for the cannon, but
maybe
way
as we
too much.
see Yerky going onto the bot kill, who flashes away a bit early and still gets hit by the Q. He's trying to waddle his way out, waiting for the shield to drop, and he turns with a QR. The cage comes down, does not get the stun, but the blast cone is available. He hits it, does not make it over the wall, but he's trying to walk away. Seems like Haifa is trying to find him out, but he takes another blast cone. I think he is going to get the execute. He's waiting it out, and it's an execute.
A lucky play from our little leprechaun. We do see that he is the Predator variant of Vega, so he is going to be looking to walk fast bot lane probably soon. We should see that.
Lexana Unana flashing in with a Glacial Fissure. And it's just an easy kill. At this point in the game, Tristana's Hail of Blades coupled with Braum's passive just leads to a pretty much immediate stun as soon as Braum lands that first blow. Whether it's a auto or a Q or an ult, that target is going down. As we see a massive wave. I wonder if they're going to go for a dive. I think not. They're just going to charge up this explosive charge on the turret. Hit it a few times. Try to get a plate. And the biggest problem with this 2v2 kill is this huge wave that Iser is going to lose.
Yeah, it's definitely difficult to be Misfortune in this situation. You're down 15 gold when you should be bullying. Chicken doing some more trading in the top lane, but it should just be a bully lane for Misfortune. But for me to use, Tristana was able to get so far ahead. Drip Irrigation coming top.
He's looking to equalize this top lane situation. Chicken has Flash, has Ignite. He uses a Flash. The EQ comes out and lands from Drip Irrigation, and a great body slam as now Haifa is caught out. Or no, this is Yerky caught out in the mid lane, and he is dead to the bot kill.
Yurki caught out, punching into the cage, so not able to escape.
Yep.
A good roam from Luxana Unana.
A great run.
It did definitely help to secure that kill, but I think that the bod kill would have been able to do it on his own with that ultimate damage. Actually, it looks like he didn't even need to use it.
Another cage comes through, gets caught, and just a half health chunk, you know, casually at around 10 minutes in. A WQ is half health already from the bod kill, and if you're Penn College, that has to be worrying as another cage comes through the WQ into the R, and it's just an easy kill.
Yeah, that's all that you need at this point on Vagar. That's 2 cages, 2 Ws, 2 Qs, and an ultimate is all that you need. Just 2 rotations of spells, which great plays, great ability to notice when the cage is in range.
And we see Drip Irrigation coming through. He's going to drop off Shelly, I think, say, have a good day at school, hit in the turret. And I like this. This is what I mentioned last time I was on the cast, is before you drop the Rift Herald, you want to hit the plates, because as more plates fall, the tower gets tankier, but Shelly does true damage. And as we see, she's going to do that full damage and get the turret down to lethal health, as once again, Yurki is caught in a cage and just falls.
Call the bod kill the jailer, because he is hitting every cage that he needs to. Perfect timing from the Shelly, where they only needed a handful of auto attacks to take down that tower,
Yep.
and then instantly Drip Irrigation with the flag and drag, knock up, into cage, into kill.
Yeah, and as we see, Chicken is trading onto Asoma, but at this point, with the Ninja Tabbies, Asoma is so much tankier than he used to be, and now he can just pop the W, get that damage reduction, heal up with the passive, and walk off any blows from Chicken.
I believe that his healing is even going to be a little bit more than it usually would be, because we see the lost chapter has been built, so that extra bit of passive healing coming through whenever Alsomo uses one of his abilities.
Ooh, a great spacing on the Q. But now Chicken is upset. He's gonna engage, but it's an explosive cast to just knock him back away.
Looks like Blade of the Exile will still be active. The ultimate
He has no
Blade coming
Q.
out.
He could be in a rough spot here, but no, as Drip Irrigation is just living inside of Yurki's jungle, living inside of Yurki's head, and the Q comes through to drop Yurki. As now the bot lane is walking up, but for me to use over the wall, the explosive charge goes off, and talk about overkill from UNC. They can now take away all of the camps in Penn College's blue side jungle. And I'd like to see them take the dragon after. They're going to leave the Grump up, you know, leave a little crumb behind for Yurki.
1 crumb for the jungler, but the Hex Tank
Oh.
Dragon will be falling. For me to you, getting missing pinged for that wonderful jump that we just saw there. A little bit of friendly banter with the team. Chicken back top lane with about equal health to Alsomo. We might see another trade with Grasp stacked up.
And this is the issue in the matchup, is because at some point Gragas is just strong enough to ignore most of the damage, but it seems like he's taking an extended trade. And wow, the minions to seal the deal on Asomo's side. And that just has to hurt.
Yeah, Chicken's ult was able to come up faster, but it just didn't matter because of how tanky Gragas has got at this point with just Ninja Tabbies and his ability to sustain after he uses his abilities. Azer and Ice sitting back, waiting for their opportunity to farm, get their crumb of gold. As we see
A
Alsomo
flash
ulting.
glacial fissure as Ice hooks into the wall and then walks away. As we see, Yurki is once again caught in a cage. It feels like every time we pan the camera over here, we see him stuck in a cage, as he does fall yet again, but this time to Asomo.
Little bit of an arcane cosplay with Vi being back in jail.
True.
We did see that Alsomo did have to burn the ultimate and was taken very low, so it was a good awareness by Yurki to know that he could have taken that fight, but the bod kill showing up, and now just the ability to poke out Chicken. I wonder how many stacks he has. He must have so much extra AP to doing this much damage.
Chicken
was killing.
is trying not to look like Yurki and managed to dodge out 2 cages from the bot kill. He's going to look to stay in this lane, but it's dicey. 1 skill shot means death as now... Oh, that was just personal.
That was a BM ult right there. Taking the extra kill, an auto attack probably could have done it, but taking the sure thing, Not going to fault anyone for that. We did see that Vagar has over 170 stacks
Yeah.
at this point. A lot of extra AP coming through. I wonder if we'll just see the Rabadon second. We see the needlessly large rod coming out, so it should be that Rabadons get the 40% extra AP and completely one-shot everyone for the rest of the game.
You know, we were talking about, is the bot kill going to be able to survive in the mid to late game? Is he going to be able to withstand the engage from Penn College? But if I'm him, I'm thinking, why save myself if I can just kill them first? As we see Asomo body slamming onto Azer, who just drops the exhaust and says, please, man, I'm just trying to farm.
Just trying to farm as Yerky takes the Gromp in the bot lane. We do see Drip Irrigation opting to deny a camp. This is what we were hoping from him. We wanted to see his ability to
No
walk in.
Qs left from Chicken, who's going to try and get away, but he has no flash. He's slowed by the red buff. He's knocked up by the EQ, dodges out the Glacial Fissure, but the passive autos are stacking, and the bot kill comes through to collect a kill. As the Everfrost lands, would we see from Midiu doing so much damage onto Haifa.
About 4 autos and a fully charged bomb is enough to almost kill Orianna at this point, as flashing away and just completely shredding through Vi's health bar. No abilities, simply auto attacks with the W enhanced speed.
Oh, and Framidiu jumps in, gets that explosive charge off, and then jumps away with the reset, but dies. A slight miscalculation there, but I like the confidence and I like the gall to get in there. As we see Asomo's chilling, waiting for the body slam to come off cooldown. And Haifa decides, I'm just going to walk back to Fountain. This is too scary.
Respectable choice to walk back to Fountain. The UNC Sharks were in the water, and they were looking for blood. Asomo's still in there.
Yeah, Asomo is very far up there, and like you said, it's so much physical damage, but Drip Irrigation EQ are in, as Yerky might get away with the command protect, as Asomo is crawling away on a sliver of HP, and Haifa collects a kill onto Lexana Unana.
Lexana does pay the price for the extra aggression, but the bod kill sitting in the top lane, farming up his stacks, getting the extra damage, denying the red buff from the jungler. That's a large amount of XP that Penn College definitely would have liked to get back into the game. We see about a 10k gold lead at this point in the game, which is about expected from UNC in this match. Almost killing with just a QR.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage. And as we saw, Asomo only had the ninja tabbies, but he was able to withstand a lot of punishment from Penn College because, as you said in the draft phase, it's 80% physical damage, I would say, because of how behind Haifa is. All the damage threat on to Asomo is going to be coming from Chicken and from Azer, so if he keeps stacking armor, it should be hard to drop him down as Drip Irrigation takes the blue and takes the EQ that misses, and Yerky's trying to walk it out, but there's no live in that one.
Yeah, we've been waiting to see Drip Irrigation. It feels like it's been so long since we've seen him, but he definitely showed up tonight.
Yes.
That's for sure. From me to you, able to solo this Mountain Dragon as Chicken is looking to take some top lane, get some extra gold. They do have bounties at this point, so every little bit counts, but it should just be a slow bleed out for Penn College in the rest of this game.
The bod kill popping the Predator. He should know that Chicken has Flash, who's in the bush playing with vision well. The cage misses, the Everfrost hits just the slow, but the QR chunks Chicken out to 80%. The bod kill gets solo killed from Chicken, and now Drip Irrigation is in, hitting a creep for good measure before putting actual damage onto Chicken, who's now dashing around, trying to get damage off with the Gore Drinker healing. It's a long extended fight. Sterax is popped from Drip Irrigation, who misses the EQ, hits his own Gore Drinker. Chicken is back in and falls. What a close fight.
Long right-click battle between two melee carries who are both very fed at this point in the game. We did see 1k gold going on to Chicken from the bod kill. Not what you like to see. Chicken is definitely the only person who's still in this game. But I don't think that he's in this game to a point where it'll matter. Riven is not the character that you're expecting to solo carry your team, especially not in the point where it is 21-6 on soul point.
It'll be rough if the bod kill is able to play a bit smarter with the cage. Then whenever Chicken splashes down, it's going to be very hard for him to actually play the team fight, as Baron
No, Shelly!
swoops in and says, Shelly, they won't take you out today. don't worry.
Shelly disappearing into the ether as Baron is online. UNC does have the opportunity to force a play here. We do see that all ultimates except for the Cataclysm, which is coming online shortly, will be online for the side of UNC. And there is no vision for PCT. They could sneak this if they wanted to. UNC could just walk up to the Baron and start hitting. But it looks like they're opting to lurk in the jungle. Sharks in the water, as I mentioned earlier. They're looking for more picks and more free kills.
Yeah, like Sana Unana should be pretty confident stepping up here with the backup of his whole team behind him. And as we can see, if we could toggle Penn College's vision, I just want to see, and like, look at this. The map is just completely dark for them. They have no way to know if UNC is actually on this Baron or not, as Yerky decides to queue in, gives Drip Irrigation a little love tap. And UNC claims the top lane inner turret. I would like for them to move to the Baron shortly. With all this vision control they have, it should be extremely easy to bait out a fight because they have so much engaged with the Jarvan and the Braum. They can just press R and the fight's over. For Mitsu is so ahead, the bot kill does so much damage, and Asomo is still in the game, even after the early game we had.
No vision, and it looks like Baron's the call here. UNC opting to shred through the Baron's HP bar. The bomb coming from me to use Tristana, as there is so much vision for UNC. Any attempt to walk in will be sniffed out. Penn College not able to even know that this is happening.
Yep.
Baron has been slain. UNC is sinking their backs, heading back. The bod kill will opt to take the buff first before he recalls, and we should see that items should be coming through for most of UNC.
Now here's the only question I have for you, Ryan. Will this game end before Mountain Soul is taken? Yes or no?
I don't think that UNC is going to feel that they need it. I think that at this point, with the Baron buff, UNC should be confident enough that they can walk in, sync 2 lanes, sync mid bot, and pressure from 2 sides to the point where Mountain Dragon will be alive, but they don't need to threaten it because they can just walk into the base and take the Nexus.
I don't think that Penn College is strong enough to survive a just full-out dive from UNC. They can just engage with the Jarvan EQ into Cataclysm like Sana Unana, as we saw in the last game, was confident blast coning over. That's not an option this game, but Flash is a summoner spot. As we see Ice caught in the cage and just drops from full health. And that's your tank.
That's about as much frontline as there is anymore. Chicken obviously getting very tanky. Drip Irrigation, Flag and Drag, and Catalyst. 2 flashes burned for the side of Penn College. And inhibitors are being hit. It looks like as Alsomo is taking the bot lane, as I mentioned, there are going to be 2 inhibitors falling and 2 waves pushing into the base.
And yeah, UNC has full confidence just living inside of Penn College's base at this point. It seems like they're going to opt to take the double inhib into Mountain Soul route. I can respect playing it safe. I personally think they could have just gone for the end there, but I understand wanting to play it safe, just get the soul, and not have any opportunities for Penn College to make it back in this game.
Nautilus respawning, no reason to take the risk as UNC has 6 extra seconds before the Dragon falls. Backs are being channeled and cancelled. For me to you, going to push the bot lane, I think that once this is pushed out, there is a minute left on Baron. So with backs coming out, actually no, for me to you staying, the bot kill is getting a solo kill in the mid lane on Chicken, the strongest member on PCT. They should walk forward and just end this game at this point. 700 AP on Veigar.
This Veigar is huge, as the bullet time does come out for, I think, one of the
0
first
damage.
times this game, and yeah, 0 damage.
All of the Mountain Souls, 500 extra health on all of UNC's members, and a big block from Laksana Unana. The game should be over here. The ability to walk in and end should be happening.
Yep, and this is just the game. As we see, UNC has full confidence going in here. The shockwave is used at the end, but hits nobody. And it's just a clean fight and a clean game for UNC.
Extra stats on the bot kill.
Oh, Chicken flashing in. He gets exhausted.
The bot kill did opt to buy that stopwatch, the defensive item that we were mentioning that he didn't need earlier. He takes it now. A little bit of respect towards Chicken earlier after losing that 1v1. But so much AP from Veigar. Backs and TPs coming through.
And yeah,
Game will
another
end.
really clean game from UNC to take this series 2-0. A clean sweep. Both of the games in themselves were very, very clean, and I'm happy with what I saw from UNC's JV squad.
I'm happy from what I saw. It was what we all expected to see. Nothing special coming out today, but we are seeing the makings of the team that we saw last week. We see a lot of the same strengths coming through, and I really want to focus on the ability to just control position. I think that this is probably going to be a strength for UNC going forward, and if they can hone that, then they might have the ability to push even further against tougher opponents.
I agree. I think we have a few players that are interested in doing an interview, so we'll give them a bit of time to get ready with production, and we will have an interview for you guys soon.
All right. Might move into a quick break soon, but before that, Rami, you're the coach of this team. I want to know how proud are you of your children in this match?
I'm proud. Granted, the opponents were lower rank than our team. I am very happy to see the decisions made by the JV squad. They were making good macro decisions. A lot of teams can find a lead, but they struggle to close out a game cleanly. When you have a lead, the biggest issue is knowing what is the most optimal way to extend my lead, what is the best way for me to continue the pressure, keep it up on the enemy team, make them sweat, and close out the game. So I'm very happy with what I saw today. I saw a lot of good macro decisions. I saw some hiccups here and there in laning phase, but all in all, I can't be mad. I'm very happy.
With those loving words from Coach Rami Baba, I do believe we are going to move into a short break where we will come back with an interview for you.
Yep.
Stay right there, and thank you for watching.
And welcome back to the UNC Esports stream. We are welcomed by a victorious JV squad. Joining us today for the interview, we have the bot lane duo, Fremita U and Luxana Unana, as well as the bod kill. How are the three of you feeling after that win?
It is pretty good.
Oh,
This-
yeah, I'm feeling
despite-
great. Got to play Tristana.
Mm-hmm.
Haven't played her yet in the series.
That's actually my first question of this interview. So when we were loading into drafts, I mentioned that you were talking about the Lunar New Year skin line, and I was wondering if the Tristana was picked as the most optimal champion to play in that situation, or if you just wanted to bust out the new and shiny skin.
Oh yeah, I just wanted to play the the skin.
Okay, respectable.
Well, moving off of that, I think that we can look into Luxana's Braum performance.
Yes.
We did hear that from Coach Rami that there was a little bit of hesitancy about picking Braum, but we did move forward with it, and you looked very, very confident on it, honestly, for how unsure you were apparently sounding. So, what was it like bringing out the Braum and trying to figure out that new champion on the fly?
I played Braum plenty, especially in ARAM. He's pretty good in it. But apparently Braum cucks misfortune, so
He
as long as I
does.
was there to shield my team, she can't really do her damage.
Yeah.
Especially since she's going lethality. It's literally all about her ult.
Mhm.
And if she can't hit prio targets, then it's pretty useless.
And speaking about a lot of damage, the bod kill, busting out the Vagar in the second game, how did that mid lane matchup feel for you?
It's pretty good. It's usually just a farm lane, but I can set up for ganks and allow my Jarvan to have a lane to gank
Mhm.
and play through. And I can also help our team get ahead through roams. It's also great for team fighting.
Were you worried about the Vi pick at all?
It can be annoying. If I get R'd on at level 6 and Orianna R's, I'm pretty much dead most of the time. But early game went really well for us and we shut her down, so that possibility just ended up not being there.
Makes sense. I had one question about comms. What were the team comms like in the early game coming from Osomo? Because as we saw, that seemed to be the one point that was struggling a little bit in game 2. He seemed to be caught off guard by the Riven matchup. What were the comms like?
He just said not to worry about it.
Yeah. He said play bot side. Since we were
Yeah.
really aggressive bot side,
Mhm.
we just tried to play for bots.
Okay, good. We love a weak side king who knows his worth.
Yeah.
I respect it.
Yeah, he knew his worth, and by the end of the game, he was showing it. But something else that was being shown is the strong map movements within the team. Something that I'm curious for is who is the main shot caller of the team? Who's the one who's the most aggressive voice in calling those map movements, calling the Baron plays, calling when it's time to move to Dragon?
Oh, actually, I don't know. I think it's a pretty good mix of the team. Everyone has
Yeah,
a
I think we all
voice.
talk like well and we communicate well, but it's mostly probably Michael. Michael and
Yeah,
Franklin.
since it's the jungler shop to have the neutral
Yeah,
objectives is.
Michael, he does a really good job communicating where he wants to go and what he wants to do.
Makes sense. Before we send you guys off until next time, this is your chance to give any shout outs you might have. Shout anybody out.
Oh,
Yeah, shout out to Kevin and Michael for playing well today.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they did great.
yeah, shout out to this.
And good job to John for trying on Braum.
True.
Also, huge shout out to our fantastic coach, Rami.
True.
yeah.
Completely
That
dragged
was a
out
good
and
game
saved
one
every
draft.
game.
Our coach was on point.
True. When is he not?
Okay,
All right.
never mind.
Thank you guys very much for showing up for the interview. It was a really good set, and we're looking forward to your next one next week. It's lit.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Thank you for coming.
All right, and with that interview being done, we're going to head off the stream for now. We should be back this Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern with another varsity match for CLAW. It'll be round 3. Do we have any streams between now and then?
Dota stream Wednesday.
There is a Dota stream Wednesday at 8 p.m., so tune in for that. It'll be a fun stream, fun set. So yeah, hope to see you all there.
And if you haven't yet, please, I am begging you, please sign up for my ARAM tournament. I would love to see you there. I would love to see some great ARAM that may or may not have a special guest caster. And also, please go to our Discord server, submit a meme of the week for your chance to be featured on stream. Also, please check out our Instagram, check out our Twitter,
Yep.
UNC Esports, and please continue to come through to the streams and support us.
All right, thank you everyone for watching, and we'll be back Wednesday with some banger Dota content.